sure that we're in with you. Otherwise, hop right back out.
Right. Yeah. If there's only one other spot available.
Yeah.
Right. I'll
Of
have
course,
to
if we got in before you, then what we can do, I can go in first and see, and I'll give you guys the.
That's true. We could have a plant in there to monitor it.
I'll be the scout.
Okay.
I'll jump in and I'll hope I'm not 12 of 12.
Exactly right. Yeah.
Or drafting 2 drafts.
So which case I'll just auto draft that sucker and pay attention to ours.
There you go. And that one will probably win the $100,000 or whatever it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Sometimes it's the things you don't do that work out best.
Exactly. Own worst enemies, all that kind of stuff.
All right. Well, I pressed the red button, boys, just because we promised the peeps at 9 o'clock. Let's play some Gabe and we'll jump right into it.
All right.
Go district. Bleed, I ball. Bleed, I ball. Bleed, I ball. Bleed, ball. And I bleed, I ball. Bleed, I ball. Bleed, I ball. Cause I bleed. Hey, bleeding, I ball. Defeated the odds. Didn't see him at all. JD in the pods. I needed it all. I bleeded a lie. You bleeded a lie. Nah, bleeded a lie. And that's what I go do. Facts, let me show you. Happen to know. Dudes drafting, they don't do bad and they don't lose. Make you wanna bleed. It's the Go District boys giving you the business and no gimmicks. The best ball drafts got me feeling like it's Christmas. Then it's Christmas all of a sudden and these riches came from nothing. And I got this all from loving the district. See, I just drafted, forget it. I laugh at the critics, they mad at the digits. I clap back by listening. See, BALLiN ain't a problem if you kick it with them off. And I refresh the feed till autumn, then I bleed, go.
How can you not be pumped to draft the best ball after Gabe just rocks the mic that way? Zach Krueger, welcome back, brother. Always happy to have you. How you doing, man?
I am psyched. The intro music is probably the 101 of fantasy football podcasts. So, I mean, Gabe crushes it. It fits the vibe of the show perfectly. And it sounded like, from the words I gathered, that it was like best ball tiered lyrics, so even better. So that's very, very good work on the intro music as always. Happy to be here with you guys. Stoked to get a draft going here.
Glad to have you, man. Dan, we're -1, unfortunately. Hopefully Theo and everything with the fam is good, but happy to draft with you as always, my friend.
Yeah, absolutely. Looking forward to this. It's been close to a week since I've been in a Underdog draft, so it's just been like other stuff going on, so
you say that like it's like we're talking months here, Dan. It is April.
Right. All right, and Wheeler's here, so he'll probably jump in with us too. This is great. Nice. All right, so what? Anybody else in the chat that's hoping to get into the draft?
Let us know in the chat, guys. We see a bunch of you guys watching. Smash the like and let us know that you're ready to draft with us. And we can we'll do a countdown here.
Yep.
Cool. Should we go ahead and get in? Are we?
Yeah, I'm just gonna wait and see if anybody
can I claim my spot?
Quick. Yeah.
Yeah. Don't register yet.
Yeah.
If we all register at the same time, we should be. Or what we'll do is Dan will go first to see how many there are, because he can always unregister if it's already full.
Right.
Okay.
And then we'll get it.
Not a problem.
Right.
This is actually my first one.
Yeah, Zach's doing his first Underdog.
Popping in Underdog cherry.
SuperFlex big board.
Yeah, Dan's worried about the fact he's been out for a week. I literally haven't SuperFlex ones yet, so I'm ready to see how crazy this gets.
Stratcat says one just filled.
One just filled.
So I'm gonna go ahead and jump in.
All right, let's do it.
All right.
Dan, you let me know when I can.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
So for those who don't know, the big board is a SuperFlex tournament, 300 grand in prize money, and just a fun draft, man. It's 20. How many rounds, guys? Is it 20? 20.
All right.
20 rounds.
And everybody can jump in. If you have not, go right ahead and do so. And let's see.
JD, how many of these have you done so far?
I had done. I'd have to check, but sorry, Dan. Can I jump in?
Yep.
I think I did. I think I had about 20 done, or let me check because I'm going to talk out of my you know what right now.
So I've got about 20 more than me. 23.
Oh, you got more than me even.
Yeah, I'm telling you, this is how I go to bed at night. And my number one known guy is Brees Hall. So there you go.
Nice.
Okay, all right, yeah, not a bad pick. I mean, now's the time to be getting those guys because I think that we're going to be seeing some serious ADP adjustments coming up here in the next couple of weeks after this draft hits, and hopefully it's nothing that slides in a way that makes us feel foolish for doing any of these picks that we're taking here tonight. Hopefully they're things that make us feel like we got values, but all it takes is that one guy we love to slip a little bit, and we're hurt. I know a few weeks ago I did a FFPC draft with Sean Siegel and Colin Kelly. We had done one for a podcast, and we got Kyron Williams, I think, in like the whatever it is. It's much later than what he's going now after his brutal combine. I think we got him like the 12th or 13th round, and now he's going like the 19th or 20th round. And Colin and I were just like talking like, man, like for some of the picks that worked out in that draft early on, the Kyron Williams pick looked pretty damn dead at the moment. So life comes at you quickly in these off-season drafts.
Right. Yeah, for sure. But then now it's kind of coming out like he had a much better pro day. So that might help his draft stock out. So he might not be dead yet.
Yeah.
Plus, as we've always seen, sometimes NFL teams have a vastly different vision of prospects than what we have. So
some of them love that running back who runs a 4.7. That's so. You never know. All right. Do I need to retweet anything here, guys?
Yeah. We tweeted live. Yeah. You can
pump this out. Just
retweet at your leisure.
Retweet at your leisure. Exactly. We don't put any pressure on our guests. You know.
Yep.
I got it. We got to get as many people in here as we can. So I'll throw out the retweet just to make sure that we got as many eyes on this as possible.
We are in the 8th round. Tyreek in the 8th round right now in these things. Kyle, come join. Kyle, there's 3 spots left. Come join us, brother. Underdog, big board.
Tyreek in the
8th. I sense shenanigans there from Wheeler.
Yeah, I was gonna say, is that a comment? Because I'm maybe
it's because he knows Dan and I haven't been drafting the last few days.
Yeah,
that was my problem. I didn't see the comments because I'm looking. I'm seeing that his ADP is like 31. I'm like, we're just getting the 8th round thing? But I didn't see the comments are up there, so that makes sense now. If people are trying to throw us off before we even get in this thing.
Yes, for sure. All right, so we got Stratcat or Odell. We got Wheeler, then the 3 of us, and
2 spots left.
Yep, 2 spots left.
2 left, guys. Jump in. The water's warm.
Yep. But the nice thing is, it should happen pretty quick.
Dan, you're good putting the board up? Or do you want me to do it?
No, I can do that. Hang on
awesome.
just a second.
That's huge.
I'm going to have
Canadian
to yeah, I'll have to kind of flip back and forth into my queue,
but I'm definitely not in Ontario doing this. Would never do this from Ontario. Never.
No.
That would be a crime.
That would not be allowed.
And you're not recording it so there's no evidence against it.
There's no evidence.
That's the other good thing.
No evidence. I checked into a Holiday Inn Express. I feel very smart.
All right.
Very good. You crossed the border just to come do this. That's dedication to the craft. Not many have that.
Dedicated, man. I'm dedicated.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So Dan, anything when you were drafting, or I know you went like you binged a bit. You got real excited when you first got in there, like a kid in a candy store. So
I was just playing with some different builds, basically.
That's what I was going to ask you. Is there a way that you found yourself kind of finding favorable with your playing around?
I mean, I feel better if I get 2 of my quarterbacks in the first 3 rounds, but I've got a couple that I didn't do that, and I feel pretty good about them. So it just kind of depends on how the board falls as to what you're going to end up doing. We got 1. Oh, we just filled.
There we go.
Me life. Sorry if you didn't get in. All right. So So we have JD is at number 6. I'm at number 9. Zach is at number 7. And let's see, Wheeler's at 10. And we have Peanut Punch. He does a lot of FFPC with us.
Yeah.
He's at 12. And then how about Strat Cat? Let's see if we can see him in here.
I don't know if he has a different name on here.
Yeah, there's no Strat Cat in here.
Well, we'll find out.
Me Life. Oh, we missed Me Life.
Yep. It's all right. We got half this. He's no bozos. Okay. So he's in the 2-hole.
Okay. All right. What does a guy new to Underdog SuperFlex need to know before he makes his first pick here, guys? I'm trying to ask a crafty vet here.
The quarterbacks will they will disappear pretty quick, but I mean, it's just wherever there's a tier break, then you'll see a break in quarterbacks getting taken. So
yeah.
So we're already 4 quarterbacks off the board here. Yeah, I'll be curious to see how this goes. I mean, right now we've already hit like a silly quarterback run, and now I'm questioning what do I do here with the brand? See, JD went with who I was willing to take if he fell to me, and now
I got to go a little JT, man. Little JT for JD.
Now I've got decisions to make. I'm not afraid of drafting this man right now, and I'm going to go ahead and do it just because of the way the quarterback board's shaping up. I feel like the way some of these top guys are already off here is kind of indicating that I might need to do a 4 quarterback build over a 3 quarterback build, especially have to go in CMC here.
All right. Kyler went. I kind of thought that would be what would happen there, but I am still A-okay. Taking Mr. Tom Brady.
There we go. Wheeler's on the clock. So JT and CMC, the only non-quarterbacks off the board so far at 6 and 7. You have Allen, Mahomes, Herbert, Lamar, Burrow, Kyler, Brady, and Russ. Russ Cook's off in the 10, and we're on the 11 right now with Jay Cooper.
Yeah, I was between Brady and Russ, but I don't have any builds with Brady, so I went that way.
You got to diversify that portfolio, I understand. So
exactly. Yep.
That's right. You got to diversify. So, it doesn't seem like it's just pretty like standard here ADP wise for everything so far.
Yeah, usually you see 7, 8 quarterbacks go in the first round.
Yeah. Really? Okay.
Yep.
It feels very bullish compared to what I feel like I saw in FFPC, but I could be a little bit out of the game for a moment, so we're freshening up here.
The QBs and the running backs go a lot quicker on Underdog than FFPC.
Okay, that's what I felt like. So, all right, I don't feel like I'm losing my mind completely then.
All right. So I gotta flip over.
I can't wait to take down this thing with Baker Mayfield and Drew Lock.
I mean, it's not fun if you end up with like Tom Brady and Justin Fields. Like, come on, you got to make it fun, man.
Right? Yeah, I need to live a little.
Yeah, mix in a little. Who's in there? A little Tannehill. I don't know. Who knows?
All right, I'm going with Cup on the way back.
That's who I was considering going with. Whew. All right. Well, man. All right. Let's get nutty. Let's go.
I was thinking of doing something nutty like that.
Yeah. Let's go just 2 hammer running backs right off the bat, and then I can probably not worry about that position for a hot minute now.
Yeah. So we've got 3 teams that have double tapped on quarterback. We have 1 team that's double tapped on wide receiver. And then we have Zach, who's double tapped on running back. And then we have we just had another team double tap on quarterback. So we're already up to Justin Fields, who's the quarterback 13 13 to go, and we're not even through the second round.
Yeah, I
So
took Carr there.
the quarterback thirst is heavy in this room.
And there's only 32 teams in the NFL, correct? So this is looking rough for me right now.
and that's why I was. If you didn't take the second running back, I was going to take it. And then I was thinking of taking Eckler, or Javante. But it's tough, man. Once you don't grab one of those guys, I like Carr with his weapons, with Adams there, and Waller and the whole gang out there, and new offense. So I think Carr moves up a bit fantasy production wise. Fields, I'm like 50-50 on. I like him, but I want to mix them up. I don't want to be too heavy on him. Same with Lance. I like Lance, but you don't want to be too heavy because I don't know. I guess I'm heavier on Lance than I'm saying. So,
I mean, I like Lance. I think he's going to end up being the starter, whether Jimmy G's there or not. So I'm not too worried about that. I think that he's going to be a fine pick. Like, really, with him, I'm less concerned about whether Jimmy G is there or not, and just concerned more about is the production we're going to see out of him in his first year as a starter going to be that of someone we're going to feel good about drafting once the season finally starts. So a little bit worried about that with Lance, but he still has that rushing upside that we love and look for, and we know that can kind of supplement poor passing. And I mean, there were games in the early Josh Allen days where he was literally saving fantasy owners with just his rushing upside and little to no passing upside. So we know that it can work out, and I think that's kind of like the bet on Fields right now.
Yeah, I think so. It puts a solid floor underneath him at least.
Yeah. And in these super flex where you're going to probably be going with 3 quarterbacks, maybe even 4 if you have a guy like Lance as your quarterback 1, like just, go ahead and roll with it and see what happens and for the best. I don't think he's going to end up being a bad pick. I just wonder, is he going to be as good as we hope he is?
All right, JD's on the clock.
Don't kill me here, JD.
So there is no Vikings stacking going on. The Vikings are spread all over the place.
I'm gonna go Tua.
Okay,
And
so
again, I like the upgrade with the weapons. I can't take Watson, man. For me, missing those 8 games, I get. Why are you laughing?
Yeah, it could be. It hasn't come down, right?
You don't think that's going to be 8 games?
Well, it is all right. So it hasn't officially been announced. So I feel better knowing that. My rationale with the Watson pick here is first of all, I got him about 11 spots later than his ADP, so I like that. And then I've kind of already accepted the fact that if I can make it happen, I have to go with the 4 quarterback build at this point in time. So if I can get 3 guys to kind of, step up in his absence, assuming that there is one, that we can tread water and then take this thing once he actually takes a feel and starts going for it. So I like the value, and then I think it's going to mix well with my potential 4 quarterback build here. So
it does give you a good first QB, considering you started 2 running backs, right?
Yeah, I mean, even if he only misses less than half the season, like if I can piece together the quarterbacks and be boosted by a solid running back floor, I don't hate the way this looks. Of course, the downside is that I am going far and away against the Rotoviz 0 RB philosophy. This would get me cut from Rotoviz for life if they actually saw this. I won't be sending this to Sean and asking him what he thinks about it. I can tell you that.
No, probably not.
Yeah, throw garlic at you.
Yeah, have you heard of Anti-Fragile? Nah. Yeah. Yeah, I apologize. No, I like the way it looks, though. I think it's an interesting start, at least. I got a couple guys a little bit later than I expected, so we'll go with it. All right.
So, Peanut Punch in the 12 spot went 3 receivers: Chase, Jefferson, Brown, AJ Brown, and then Tannehill. Going against the grain there with receivers early.
And then he grabbed the AJ Brown Tannehill stack around the corner. I left that open when I took Mixon. I saw both Brown and Tannehill, and I was like, they're probably both going to go by somebody before it gets back to me. But I was looking at taking the Brady Evans stack here, so I was able to get that going.
I like that. So Zach is back on the clock.
Oh shoot! Oh no! I didn't even realize it. That went quick. This is going to end up being an auto pick. I can already tell. Hopefully, it's decent. Nope. He was in my queue. That's not who I wanted.
Oh, you got the stack. You got the stack at least.
I got the stack. I didn't realize I was on the clock that quickly. I was checking out some.
Yeah, these things do go quick. They can go really quick. I mean, some people take most of their time, and other times you'll see it like 4 or 5 picks just buzz through in about 10 seconds.
Yeah, no, I was looking for. I was checking something on another NFL roster. Like I was thinking way ahead of things to know for like a later pick in the late rounds, and then all of a sudden that happened. So I did get back. We'll call that a small victory. But now I really have some ground to make up here. Amari Cooper over DeAndre Hopkins, Keenan Allen, and DK Metcalf. That's all right. We'll make it work.
Yep. You were just making sure you got that stack, no matter what.
Yeah, get your guys.
Right.
Is what
I do find the Underdog ADP is kind of all over the place. Like I know Wheeler said he was kidding, but I do find even from the beginning of the offseason, obviously in the beginning it shapes up, but I don't find like it's ever really settled like the FFPC one does, because there's so many ways to build these things. So the ADP moves around. Obviously all the offseason activity is definitely making movements, but you see a lot of guys falling at value at different positions as we get through the rounds. Now we're round 4 or round 5, beginning of 5.
Yeah, just starting around 5.
Yep.
I mean, I still like some of the guys who are on here, so quarterback is rough. I will say that, but now I feel like everyone's kind of going to be slow in their roll a bit, and it's just going to be properly cleaning up at the position when the time comes, at least for me. I've got to find a way to get 3 more guys who I like, but everyone else already has 2 quarterbacks, so I can't imagine there being too many 4 quarterback builds in here.
Yeah, so me Life World is wondering if I got to do my annual FFPC stud sophomore wide receiver 101 pick this year. No, unfortunately, I did not have the 101, so I went a little bit more traditional on that one. All right, so let's see.
I'm on the clock here. I'm just waiting for this guy to pick so I can. So I do like getting one of the top tight ends in this just because, again, it just allows me to take less later on. I'm fine even taking just one more if I get a pretty good one. And especially if I can stack Waller with Derek. Zach, you're up.
I know what's going on this time. I feel good about that. So we made that one happen.
Nice. Kyle Pitts.
Yeah. The Pitts one is a nice one. I was looking at him. I was going, I really need a quarterback. So
before I accidentally took Amari Cooper, my plan was to slide in real quick and take Mark Andrews. So I'll take Kyle Pitts at almost a full round of ADP value, at least according to that, and call it a small win. It in its own weird way, I feel like it mildly corrects my egregious Amari Cooper auto draft.
There you go.
So, Zach, you have CMC, Derrick Henry, Deshaun Watson's your first quarterback, Amari Cooper, obviously the auto pick, gives you the stack, and then Kyle Pitts. How are you feeling so far?
I mean, I certainly have some work to do at wide receiver and quarterback right now, but I like getting Kyle Pitts here because now I feel like I can kind of be in a position where I'm no longer desperate at tight end. I'm certainly not desperate at running back for a wide receiver pick that didn't go the way I wanted it to go. I feel like now I can kind of hammer wide receiver and quarterback in these next couple rounds to correct a little bit of a mistake there. Because I do like the way I started with my first 3 picks. I feel good about that at least.
Dan, you've got Brady, Kupp, Mixon, Evans, and Wilson. How do you feel about it?
I mean, all right so far. It's going to be interesting to see how this thing comes together. So there's a lot of ways this could go yet, but I'm trying to focus on not necessarily doing too much stacking. I want to make sure I'm getting good players early, and then I can kind of nibble in with the stacks a little bit later. Like DeAndre Hopkins, I was kind of hoping that I might get him, but I think we're just going to have to do DK Metcalf.
Yeah,
I just feel like he's going to get moved.
That's
I don't know
what I
where.
want to take there.
It sounds like it. That's for sure.
All right. You know what? I don't hate this one here either. So let's go here. We get a for sure starter.
Nice
and,
pick.
Yep.
And he's not getting suspended for anything, I don't think, right now. So we at least got someone who should be starting week 1.
Yeah, I could go so many ways right now.
Yeah, I gotta look and see what some of these other teams look like. How many quarterbacks?
I'm gonna go Moore. I like DJ Moore as my 2.
No, that's a nice pick. I'll be interested to see what Carolina does at the quarterback position at this point in time, because you want to talk about a team that could go in a number of different directions. Like Matt Rule needs probably someone that's not named Sam Darnold, and I think the only way he's going to get that is probably reaching on a quarterback that no one else would take with the number 6 overall pick. But he is in complete job saving mode at this point in time, so he's got to do something creative. And
do you think they would trade out of the 6 and try to move down later in the first round and still pick a quarterback that they want? It'd be a little bit risky. I
mean, I guess the question is, how good do they like? The way their offseason has kind of gone is really weird, because they've literally done nothing at the quarterback position, and they're definitely one of those teams that really needed to. So we're kind of left now wondering, do they feel confident enough in a guy at 6 that they feel good taking him there, or did this just kind of unfold this way for them, and now they got to galaxy brain their way into a pick that they feel good about, and with the pick that they feel good about. So if they don't love anybody at 6, I think they could easily justify trading away that 6 pick, trying to get something in the middle of the first round, maybe add another 2nd or 3rd round pick for this year's draft or next year's, and then add a little bit of draft capital while also accepting the fact that they're going to get a guy who they maybe don't love, but they can feel it's a little bit more palatable for them to take him with, say, a middle of the first round pick rather than something in the 6th. So if they don't have anybody they love, I would trade the pick, because it's just it doesn't look great. And if I'm not mistaken, is it the Panthers who only have like 1 pick in the first 3 rounds right now?
Yeah, they've got like they go to like pick 100 and something for their next pick. So there's no chance. And basically, even at pick 6, if your quarterback works out, if you grab the right guy, nobody's going to sit there and say, oh, well, yeah, you could have traded down to 20 and still got him. No, you got your guy, and it worked.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, I think that's just kind of going to be what it's going to be about for them. Do they actually like a guy enough to take him at 6, or would they rather get a little bit of something extra in the draft and accept that they'll take a guy who maybe they like as much as anybody else, but now they can get him outside the 6th overall pick? So it'll be interesting to see how that one unfolds, because it's not a great situation for them to be in, I feel like.
Yeah, for sure.
You want to talk about bad situations?
When you need a quarterback as bad as them, you want ammo. And only having 1 pick, if nobody's willing to trade up, that can be a problem too, because then it can really force you.
Yeah, they'd have to. Maybe they could demand that they get some extra picks, and they just hold off on picking at 6.
Yes.
Make a request with the league. Can we get a couple of extra picks if we just don't pick here at 6?
Well, they could use the Vikings strategy and just let the other teams go in front of them.
Yeah, exactly. I mean,
other than Jimmy G, is there anyone else that's out there that might end up on a different roster quarterback wise that's significant, that can help some weapons in an offense?
He's definitely the main guy.
I don't know why. Not everyone's going to love this, and I don't care. But I don't know why Gardner Minshew has been floated around in some kind of circle. Like for as much criticism as he gets for just kind of be like this goofy, quirky quarterback guy who also happens to play football. Like he's been more than solid in a lot of the games that he's appeared in. I mean, you really think that Gardner Minshew's a downgrade over like Sam Darnold? Because I think that would be an upgrade. Like,
definitely would be an upgrade.
Yeah,
I'm all over the Minshew thing.
Yeah, like he's been efficient enough. He doesn't turn the ball over. Like I don't hate Minshew at all.
Dan, I'm surprised. I'm surprised you didn't take someone there. the receiver.
Oh yeah. I know who you're thinking about, but
yeah,
no. I need to do different things now.
That's exactly that's why I passed on Michael Carter and took Elijah Mitchell for that same reason.
Yep. So I've got my 3 quarterbacks, and then I've got Cooper Kupp, Mike Evans, and DK Metcalf at wide receiver. I got Mixon at running back, and then I've got Schultz at tight end. So I'm definitely playing their RB2. Zach, let's see. Zach's got his 2 stud running backs, McCaffrey and Henry, and then he's got Watson, Mac Jones, Pitts at tight end. Then he's got Amari, Elijah Moore, and Allen Robinson for wide receiver. And then JD, you've got Carr and Tua for quarterback, JT and Elijah Mitchell for running backs, Waddle, Moore, and Mooney. So that gives you the stack with Waddle and Tua, and then you've got Waller at tight end. That looks nice.
With Derek Carr.
Yes, with Derek Carr.
I will say this.
It's definitely very different than other rosters. What are you saying, Zach?
Seeing that TJ Hawkinson is still sitting here kind of makes me regret Kyle Pitt 55th overall. Just a little bit. If I had been more familiar with these ADPs, if this hadn't been my first draft, I think I probably would have gone with a wide receiver there. I kind of would hate to know who I passed up on at that point in time, but I mean, I could have gotten someone like Jerry Jeudy, DeAndre Hopkins, DK Metcalf. I probably would like all of them over Kyle Pitts if I know I could get Hawkinson here at the turn. But I know this won't be the last one I do. So this is
say your last, yeah.
This is quite literally the practice run of all practice.
This is the gateway draft, Zach. This is how you get hooked, and now you're just gonna end with us and be up all night drafting these things.
Yes. Exactly. Yeah. I'm on a path to being single by the end of the week.
Me Life World says he'd like to see Minshew go back to the Northwest and play for Seattle. Totally agree.
Yeah, like Minshew and Pete Carroll are probably already best friends. Like they probably hang out in the offseason. Yep. All right, let's not do anything foolish here. At least not too foolish. You know what? I don't like that.
Are you gonna take my guy? That's all I want to know.
I'm gonna take this guy.
That's might be his guy. That was a good pick.
I'm gonna take him.
That was not my guy. That was not my guy.
If I didn't have Carr, I probably would have taken Lockett there. But
I've got this insider feeding me advice now. If you see back here.
Oh yes, I saw.
Yeah. That Lockett pick came recommended straight from the animal.
Nice.
Yeah, she's
like, lock it in.
Yeah, she knows. She loves Tyler Lockett. Ian has PFF Lily, right? His dog. So I've got my own insider over here. She just kind of sits there and makes sure that I don't do anything to completely embarrass myself during draft season. Yeah, so we'll see here. Let me see something.
And Wheeler was definitely listening to the table talk because he snapped up Hawkinson right away. I took Kenneth Walker. Yeah. I took the latest hot sexy business on.
Yeah, that's who Twitter. I was taking. I was going to take him, Dan, actually, when I took Mooney, and then I was going to take him when he came back, but Renfrew was there for the stack, and he's a nice receiver for us. So I was like, I'll throw him.
I was leaning Kenneth Walker with that pick, but the only reason I didn't was simply because I still have Henry and McCaffrey, and I have just so many other things I need to address right now. So I'm kind of doing that right now. But I did like the Kenneth Walker pick. If I didn't start the way I did at running back, I think I would have been all in on that one.
I'm gonna just put a second tight end there, stack Gesicki with Tua, and I'm done. I'm done at tight end.
And Zach, you took the guy that I was going to take if Patterson wasn't there.
That's why he took him.
I was between Burks and Lockett for my last pick, and I kind of accepted I was going to probably lose Burks, but we'll
worked out nicely.
We'll take him on the comeback.
Well, I was thinking you took Gronk. Sorry, I thought you were talking about Gronk. I thought it was you that took him.
Oh.
So yeah, and Cordarrelle Patterson I have not picked in any drafts before, but talking with Dwayne last week, Dwayne McFarland, he kind of got me off my anti-Cordarrelle rant. So I'm gonna start picking up some shares here from time to time. He pointed out that he did have a sprained ankle at the end of last year, which honestly I had forgotten about. And then, and if he's getting used a lot as a receiver, which he probably will, given the state of the Falcons receiving game, that's going to work out well too. So,
and guys, if you haven't watched that Dwayne McFarland show, go check it out, guys. It's loaded, 2.5 hours of pure joy and goodness that will help you with your drafts, your trades, your best balls, all of it.
Yeah, it's great stuff. We've gotten a lot of excellent feedback on it.
Yeah, you brought up the Atlanta wide receivers. Has an Atlanta receiver been taken yet, or is it just like we're not even close to Atlanta wide receiver territory?
You took Pitts, didn't you?
Yeah.
You got Pitts, but that's not exactly a wide receiver. So
right.
Yeah, the wide receivers I think are going to be about the 16th round or so. Wild guess.
That's got to be tough. Trying to see. I'm not on the clock yet. I'm trying to decide what I'm going to need to do with this next pick here to look like I kind of know what I'm doing. JD's on the clock right now.
Yeah, I'm going to do it.
Right.
I'm doing it. I'm taking Jimmy G. I don't think I have him anywhere, so I figure I'll take him.
These mid-round picks are where you can really make or break your draft for sure.
Yeah,
I'm going Kenny Pickett here. I feel like of the rookie quarterbacks, he might not be the first quarterback taken, but I think he's going to be like the one that's most likely locked into being a starter come week 1, or at least very soon. So given that I might be in need of quarterbacks who are starting sooner rather than later, I had to go with Kenny Pickett and pass on Malik Willis, who I also like, but a little worried about that. Hey, Russell Gage.
We were snagged me on that one. He didn't even wait until the way back. He just grabbed him on the way out. I thought he would at least wait until the 12th round to grab Gage. Man.
Me Life wants you to mention a soundbite that Dwayne dropped for Patterson. Hey, Me Life, you got to go check out the show, brother. You got to put in that work.
Yeah. So I mean, basically, he was just saying that Patterson did have a sprained ankle. He is going to get a ton of work in the receiving game, and unless they draft a running back, I mean, he could get a lot of that work too. So. Got to feel pretty good about him if the Atlanta offense stays as it was last year. But I do think they are going to draft a running back, so I'm expecting for him to get more of his work as a receiver.
Let's see here.
All right, yeah. Oh my guys, that was not a good turn for me.
So we're in the 12th round.
Correct.
Wheeler is up on deck. The overhyped sleeper. Dan is next.
What's the Cooper team doing?
All right. So Spiller just went. Gallup, and I am up. So I'm going to reach just a little bit, but I'm going to take another rookie running back here.
Okay. Yeah. Rashad White's very nice. That could go well. I'm going to go with Bob Trees.
Oh, yeah. Bobby Trees. Nice.
All right. I'm going old school. It was either going to be White or Melgo. I'll go Melgo.
He was who else I was looking at there.
That's who I thought you were going to take. not bad as my RB3, considering when they end in the 12th.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, I think Melvin Gordon is going to be the classic. Like, once he gets signed to a team, that ADP is probably not going to be at 139. So
Exactly.
that's a pick that you get now, understanding that it's probably going to be rising up a bit. He's not going like to New England where he's going to be facing a 4-back committee or something silly like that.
Agreed.
Yeah, because like even if Buffalo or somebody like that misses out, they could take Gordon and pair him up with Singletary, and that would be a pretty good pairing.
That would actually be good.
Yeah. I don't think that Zach Moss, like his days feel like completely numbered. I think he was like an active or a healthy scratch in the playoffs. Like if you're a healthy scratch in the playoffs, your team would be needing you the most. In theory, that's probably a bad sign for your upcoming season.
Yeah, I agree with that as well. I think that's very true.
But that
even coming down the stretch, the last few games of the regular season, they were making him inactive a fair amount.
Yeah. So I think the only reason they haven't completely moved on from him is because they don't have anyone adequate to replace him with. So he could have
the Breda project didn't work out too well.
Yeah, well, he did okay a couple of times he was in there, but he wasn't anything to write home about. That's for sure. And now they have Duke Johnson, so look out, world.
Yeah, Duke Johnson. That's right. Nice. The return, the zombie.
Let's see.
All right.
So Will Fuller just went off at 12-12. 13-1 was Mostert coming back around here in the 13th round.
Yeah, I think we're going to get a tight end run coming.
Yeah.
Pretty soon.
Yeah, we very well may. It's getting kind of thin out there at tight end. I think Hayden Hurst could be interesting at tight end in late rounds this year. Uzomah is in, I think, the Jets now, so the Hayden Hurst could quite literally be Cincinnati's tight end 1, and I think physically he's probably better than Uzomah is. So I really like the Hayden Hurst signing in Cincinnati as a potential late round sleeper. He was a guy who was drafted ahead of Mark Andrews and then just simply lost out to the role, and Mark Andrews took over, and now Hayden Hurst is trying to find a relevant role. But I like Hayden Hurst. I think he has a chance to still be a serviceable tight end for fantasy purposes on any given week if he ever sees the targets.
Yeah, I totally agree. I definitely like him, and you are on the clock, Zach.
Yep.
I definitely like him better in a best ball than in a managed league, because trying to figure out which weeks he's going to get that touchdown could be a little bit dicey. But yeah. But he works very well in a format like this, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, for sure. Uzomah, yeah, I mean last year Uzomah, 49 catches, 493 yards, 5 touchdowns. Like you want that from a really late round tight end. So I feel like Hayden Hurst kind of meets that category if he can see something similar.
Yeah, definitely.
Some of these later picks are just so wild to see right now. Like how quickly the landscape changes. Julio Jones at the wide receiver 72. It's just bonkers to think about right now. Like that definitely was not the case last year.
Yeah.
Even though I knew he was a risky pick. Like then it just proved to not work out. Now he's kind of on his last leg, for no pun intended. No pun intended.
Right. Yeah. When the bottom falls out on an older receiver, I mean they get punished the next year.
Yeah, they really do.
There's no question about it.
James Robinson. Let's see here. Let's see. I still need a fourth quarterback at some point in time. But I don't know that there's any fourth quarterback who I really need to feel like I should be taking right now. Drew Lock has slid a little bit, but I think I'll let him keep sliding. I'll take my chances elsewhere. The one thing I think I could do I'll just throw it out there because I don't see any rational reason why anyone else would do this, and I don't even like doing it myself. But if I wanted to, I'm on the clock here. Hold on. If I really wanted to, I feel like I could just fade quarterback to the last round, and I could go with Jacoby Brissett and call it a day. And then I probably have a Cleveland quarterback either way. But then that's a completely dead pick if Watson plays. And even though it's a late round pick, I prefer to not blow that if I don't have to. Did I
get someone you have to take him even before the 20th?
Yeah.
You totally sniped me there, but I'll go with my second pick there with Watson.
When you take Amari Cooper 3 rounds ahead of ADP, you have to really make sure you're getting those wide receivers when the time comes.
Get that value.
Yeah,
for sure.
Thanks, Me Life World. Appreciate that, man.
Yes, he says he was watching some of the Dwayne episode. It was great. He said there should be 8K watching, and definitely.
Yeah, guys, spread the word, man. Maybe not your league mates, but anyone else playing fantasy, spread the word. Help us out.
Yep.
Smash the like, subscribe, usual goodness. We're here at least once a week, if not 2 or 3, bringing in the best guests, even if we're just balling. We're doing GOAT District. Dan, we have who else do we have on this week?
Then we have Jax Falcone tomorrow night.
Right. That's right.
So
talk some Dynasty.
Yeah, we'll be talking Dynasty, getting into those rookie picks a little bit, maybe talking a little Dynasty theory. Jax is a great guy for Dynasty theory. He can, if you're feeling a little lost on exactly how you should manage your team, Jax can definitely help you out and also help you figure out kind of how to target in the rookie drafts as well. So looking forward to that conversation tomorrow night.
So we're on the end, back in the one spot of the 15th round. Logan Thomas and Jarvis Landry, one of your favorites, Dan. Jarvis Landry, one of your favorites, but someone that you kind of got my attention on a few weeks ago, which we're still waiting for a landing spot. But you think that wherever he goes, he's going to be getting those PPR points?
Yeah, for sure. I think he's just holding off, looking for the best deal right now. Some of these really good players like Melvin Gordon just may hold off until after the NFL draft at this point before they sign, because there's just not really that much value right now. The teams that are potentially interested in signing them might want to see, how they come out through the rookie draft as well before they even do that, because if, we were talking about Buffalo. Well, if Buffalo signs somebody at running back, and they feel pretty confident with them, then they're going to have no need to sign Melvin Gordon. But if they don't, then they would definitely be looking to do so. So we might see, the Melvin Gordons, Jarvis Landry, maybe even Will Fuller types going a lot later. And that usually lives us a little bit of an advantage too in these best ball drafts, because people start getting scared that they're not, they don't have a home yet. And so they start just kind of sliding down the boards a little bit.
Yeah, I think that's kind of like what you want too, as someone who's trying to, stay plugged in and read the room and get the ADPs and find the right value there. Little things like that, I do think, create buying opportunities that we can feel good about and just look for that ADP to continue being suppressed because the market's reacting to just that. Like, at the end of the day, Jarvis Landry is going to be signed. Melvin Gordon is a running back who has still got plenty to offer. Like, he's going to be signed. If he's not, I would say right now, taking him now is probably the best bet if you think that there's an opportunity that he won't sign until after the draft, because if he signs somewhere now and then he ends up having a player drafted to play ahead of him, that's going to work against you. But if your belief is that he's not going to sign with the team until after the draft, then he's going to continue to slide. He's going to likely go to a team where he knows he's going to have a role and not have to worry about being replaced in the draft. And now you likely captured a good bit of value on those picks. So I think drafting with some of your beliefs and just how you envision things playing out is a good, like, instinctual way to kind of approach these things early on, hoping that you are right in how you see it going. I think that's kind of underrated skill that can work both for you and against you. Last year it worked against me when I thought that Aaron Jones was leaving Green Bay, and I was getting all my A.J. Dillon value before he was the inevitable starting running back. Yeah.
So I was on that train too. Not gonna lie.
Was ordering all the A.J. Dillon rookie cards, the whole deal, buddy. I was driving the bus.
Yeah, so you can use those instincts, and certainly in that case it hurt me, but there's a times too where if it plays out how you envision it, it can work really well for you. So I think that's important to keep in mind.
It's good. Also, a good way to tie break, right? If you're choosing between like 2 or 3 guys, go with the guy that has a higher chance of increasing his value or climbing up the ADP ladder from now between now and the end of the offseason.
Oh yeah, for sure. And I think that's like where we're at with those rookies too. Particularly at the running back position, I think there's several rookies who could just kind of rise up in ADP once we get a little bit further along here. Like they're going to go to teams who they're going to be the running back 2, and that the running back 1 ahead of them is just less than stellar. So just get him now before all of a sudden that changes.
I wanted to ask you guys, I took Devontae Parker with my last pick. Now that he's in New England, does he move up at all for you guys, or does he kind of stay where he was? What are your feelings on that? I'll start with you, Zach.
Hold on, maybe I picked
sorry, you put that, Dan. Sorry, man, I didn't see your.
Yeah, so he definitely moves up for me. And I see that Zach took Zamir White, one of the guys he was just
you sniped me.
While JD is on the clock, Devontae Parker, I think is now that he's out of Miami, where he was just not getting used last year. I think he's got a better chance. I think where you took him is a pretty appropriate spot. Because he does bring a nice veteran presence to a wide receiver room that could probably use it a little bit. I mean, you've got Jacoby Myers, Kendrick Bourne, Nelson Aguilar, and so Parker by far is the most experienced wide receiver there.
Yeah, and I mean, I think to just kind of follow up on that too, like a lot of what we see, I mean, just out of I guess just the Patriots in general, even in some of the later Brady years, was just a lot of feeding of the tight ends and the slot wide receivers. And we know that that's kind of what they had all of last year. And now I think Mac Jones probably has a more legitimate threat on the outside, and Devontae Parker. I don't think he's a stud, but if you would have played this back last year and Devontae Parker went to New England, I think you would have been drafting Devontae Parker easily ahead of someone like Kendrick Bourne or Nelson Aguilar, just because of what we've seen more recently from Parker. So, not seeing a lot of action last year doesn't do a lot to help his case, I don't think, heading into this season. But I think that we know what he is capable of relative to some of the other players who are currently on that roster. And I think if he's able to kind of gel with Mac Jones early on and find that connection in training camp, then why can't he be the number 1 outside receiver on New England and be that guy that Mac Jones could look to, in addition to the slot receivers and tight ends that he's got to work with.
Be good for fantasy too.
Yeah, and you have to wonder if they're going to put more on Jones's plate this year. I mean, last year they really, they used him as a little bit more as a game manager, and just kind of let him get the feel of the league. And I think there's some hope that this year he might be opened up a little bit more, and they might, like Aguilar barely got used at all. And a lot of that was just due to the style of offense that they were running. So, and I think that, Parker can play both, he can play shallow and deep. So that works out pretty well. Whereas Aguilar is since he's been in the NFL, he's done his best work deep. So that just wasn't fitting well with what kind of offense they were calling last year.
I can tell you that my fantasy team that I'm drafting right now definitely needs him to let Mac Jones do a little bit more heading into 2022. So I'm pulling for that right now. This team needs it. Yep. Take the training wheels off, Bill.
Well, I'm just saying, but Nelson Aguilar is still available. So
he is. So is Kendrick Bourne, and now I'm just like,
yes.
I guess Jacoby Myers is long gone. Yeah. I can get a couple stacks in here. Another guy Another guy who's available too is Johnny
I just
Smith.
stacked Bourne with Parker. I like.
Oh, look at that! What a sniper!
I like getting two receivers on the same team late, and on top of that, I'm sniping you, Zach, so I couldn't resist. You sniped me on the Mac Jones pick, so I had to get you back.
It's a very Galaxy brain move there. Just going the wide receiver stack without the without the quarterback. So I can respect it. We'll go Kenyon Drake here, and then I think I can probably call it a day at running back. We're just gonna ride with 5 and see what happens.
How many do you have? What's your running back room look like?
I've got 5, but my running back room is probably dead if one of these two guys goes out.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna try to hedge it with the 6 running back when I know I still need a 4th quarterback and possibly another tight end. So
it's good roster.
We need some serious wide receivers still, and possibly another tight end. I'm kind of iffy on that. I mean, Kyle Pitts again with the 55th overall pick. Like you're hoping he makes your lineup most weeks. So I don't know if you really want to be drafting anybody else and
then you
hedging
took
there either.
In the 15th.
Yeah, I got Tyler Higbee. I would imagine that he's probably fine. I think we're probably just looking to get out of here with some other players we can feel okay about. I want to be able to tell my wife after this draft, so I can't have it be embarrassing. I want to be able to tell her all about it. So I don't want to be telling her about my 3 tight end build, but that started with Kyle Pitts.
I'm happy to have helped Wheeler have some angst by taking Ingram. I really like Ingram with Trevor Lawrence. I think that's a great combo. I think they will use him in the seam a lot more, because you've got Peterson there, and I think he's going to want to use Ingram a little bit more like Dallas Goedert and Zach Ertz were used, and I think that's going to play towards Ingram's game a little bit better. So I've been pretty bullish on Ingram in these drafts.
I hope that getting away from the New York Giants does wonders for Evan Ingram. I would assume that not being able to catch the ball well probably goes from city to city, but just more opportunities, better schemes could probably help him out a little bit. And dude, at the end of the day, it's drops. Like drops are annoying as hell. But I had done an article last offseason on Deontay Johnson because one of the things that people knocked Deontay Johnson for was all of his drops that he had in the previous season. And basically what I had found in looking at my article was a lot of wide receivers who lead the league in drops also tend to lead the league or be
targets
tops in the league in fantasy points and targets and production. Yep. So I don't think Ingram's targets was quite there, but I think that he has the skill set in terms of just the athleticism to be able to do all those targets that maybe in a better offense. I mean, has any player in the league had a worse set of coaches than anybody who's played for the Giants over the last 3 or 4 seasons? Like there's a good possibility the answer to that is no.
Yeah, it is a brutal run that they've had.
Just so bad.
When you look at Ben McAdoo and say that's probably about as good as it's gotten in the last 5 years.
Yeah, right.
That's not great.
It's not. It's tough to see.
So we got 2 rounds left, guys. We're just starting the 19th. Desmond Ridder and Sam Howell, the last 2 quarterbacks that went in the 14th round.
Let's see. Yeah, Desmond Ridder. I got Desmond Ridder. His stock I think has kind of risen a little bit since the combine when he showed off some pretty solid athleticism there. I think that at least in terms of like a 40-yard dash, like he at least kind of qualifies for the Konami code like quarterback that we want. I'm not quite sure that he's going to deliver a whole lot of running in the NFL, but we know that he can do it, and I think that's solid. If he just knowing he can take off if he needs to, I think is reason enough to try to bet on him. So I went ahead and took him. Again, I need a 4 quarterback, but I need to find guys that play. He's someone who I think could find his way into a starting role once drafted. Like not right away, but I could see him going to the right team that decides that their current state of affairs does not lend itself to continue rolling with the quarterback they have ahead of him and giving him a shot. And maybe that somehow finds a way to work out for me. So Desmond Ridder, my quarterback for SuperFlex League. We got 2 rookies, Mac Jones and Deshaun Watson. You simply love to see it. So we're gonna go with that. John Mechie. Yeah, we'll go with him.
Yeah, it's
there
getting
you go.
here. Dan, you're on.
Yeah, it did, and I lost like my whole queue in the last 5 picks. So that was brutal.
Was David Bell maybe on that queue?
He was. Yeah, I had Pringle, I had Bell, I had Mechie, and I was thinking about Tate. So yeah, that was pretty much it.
Those Atlanta receivers are finally creeping into the draft. We can now take them and feel okay about it.
Right.
So Dan, you went Mixon, Kenneth Walker, Cordero Patterson, Rashad White, and then you went Eno Benjamin and then Deontay Foreman. It's a nice, solid running back room.
Yeah, I think so. I don't normally go 6 running backs in here, but I mean, that's just kind of where the value is falling to me towards the end of the draft. And so, and besides, when McCaffrey disappoints Zach, I will be right there to pick up the pieces with Donta.
Yeah, when my roster's dead by week 3, I can look over to Dan's and see it flourishing. So that's always nice.
Yeah, You say, hey, I drafted with that guy. I was actually on a podcast drafting with him when he drafted that winning lineup.
I foreshadowed this the moment I took Christian McCaffrey at the 107. I knew it was probably happening. All right, let's put this guy in here.
And oh man, you're going to be in a great place if Watson gets by with a small suspension.
Yeah.
I'm thinking it could be as small as like 4 games.
Yeah,
I mean, obviously it's a tough situation to go over with any kind of nuance here, but just from a pure fantasy perspective and selecting him, like I think that if you're going to be drafting him, you got to think about what may happen there, and I could see a possibility where maybe the suspension is not as severe as others may suspect it to be. The contract he received certainly doesn't indicate that there's any kind of severity heading his way based on the fact that he just got the most guaranteed money of any player in NFL history. So if something were to follow suit where that also happens and he's treated with little to no serious suspension, that would not shock me in the slightest.
Right. And, because there's no video on any of this. And that seems to be where the NFL really kind of puts their foot down, is when there's video evidence and they're kind of like, okay, yeah, we have to punish it hard. But places where there's not video evidence and there's no criminal, that's a much tougher thing to, really come down hard on, regardless of what you think about the situation. It's just harder to come down on something where there's really no proof.
Yeah, I believe something similar happened with Ezekiel Elliott a few years ago.
Yeah, and there was video of him, so he got this. He probably wouldn't have gotten a suspension at all without the video.
Yeah, so it's just, I mean, it's a tough thing to navigate, but I went ahead and took him, and I feel like I at least prepared my team adequately for something to maybe happen, and now we just gotta hope that Mac Jones, Kenny Pickett, and Desmond Ridder can hold down the fort. When you have Christian McCaffrey and Derrick Henry, as long as they're healthy, you got a little bit of room for error, folks.
Yeah, for sure.
Definitely a tournament like this where it's, I'm sure there's not too many builds with those two starting, I would imagine.
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of, the McCaffrey's ADP of 10.1, I was kind of surprised to see even in a SuperFlex league. And then Henry even dipping into the middle of the second was a little bit surprising to me. But I guess, and that's it. That's completed.
Yep. That's a wrap.
I better name this team. I love that you can finally name your teams now.
Can you really?
Oh, I haven't even tried.
I didn't even know you could.
Yep. If you just select your team.
Yeah.
If you select your team and then go to, can I share my screen?
Yeah.
Can I show you?
Yeah. Go ahead. Let me stop mine.
Like you go in the full draft? Is that where you go?
Let me see here. I don't have permission to capture my screen. It says I have to go into system preferences. No, if you go into if you go into where you can see all the teams that you drafted, you can select like your team, and then you click on the little info circle.
Yep.
And then there's a draft name, and then you can type it in. So I went ahead and named this one Goat District Draft, so I can check back in on it later and
learn something new every day.
See how badly I'm trashing y'all.
Exactly. But I'll tell you what, if McCaffrey and Henry hold up all season, you are definitely a front runner in this draft.
I feel good about it. I still hate. If I could go back and redo it again, knowing that someone like Hawkinson was available, Hawkinson and Pitts could very likely see similar production this season. Hawkinson might even see better production than Pitts. Like that's nowhere near being something that's off the table. So if something like that were to happen, like I'm going to regret taking Kyle Pitts at 55th overall when Hawkinson's ADP was almost like 45 spots later, which is just crazy to me. But
I feel like TJ Hawk, I've seen him drop in a lot of drafts lately, like the last few weeks.
Yeah. His ADP was like 95th or 96th, and I think when he had gotten picked, I think he had slid even a little bit further than that, if I'm not mistaken. So just kind of a crazy outcome there. How can I see? Is there a way I can see the draft?
Yeah, so you just go at the bottom of where you just told me to go and go view full draft. There's a button.
I got it.
Yep.
View full draft.
Does any teams stand out? Have you guys looked at any of the other teams? Or I like kind of what Peanut Punch did. He started with those three receivers with Jamar Chase, JJ, and AJ Brown, and then he went Tannehill, Daniel Jones, Matt Corral, and Drew Lock. Finished his receivers with Pittman, Olave, Shepard, and then Deontay Harris. And then his running backs still ended up like decent for a best ball with Kareem Hunt, Rashad Penny, Damian Harris, Clyde CEH, James Robinson, Gus Edwards. Like for me, that's a solid best ball lineup at running back, and Kittle with Cameron Braid and Trey McBride at tight end. So I like the way he built that. I love the ends. Like in these underdog drafts, I love the ends in these drafts. Dan, any teams, rosters stand out to you?
Yeah, I was going to say Aaron Peanut Punch as well. I really like what he did. Wheeler's got a solid looking team as well. He of course got that weight value on TJ Hawkinson. Chase Edmonds, I love the value pick there. I really wanted him more than Cordarrelle Patterson, but that's the way it went. He just was scooping up solid values all the way down the draft out of the 10 spot. So I like how his team came together. And the Taysom Hill pick, for his final quarterback, that's a sneaky one too, because if Hill ends up playing a lot of tight end, I mean, he's going to be scoring something every week for sure. So in weeks where he gets a touchdown catch or something like that, he could definitely slide into your SuperFlex.
Last pick, right? The last pick is the fun lottery pick.
Yep, exactly.
Zach, what about you, man? You any rosters stand out to you, or any special picks that you see a value that we haven't talked about, or something that stands out?
One thing that stood out is I think we definitely had a listener at the 101 because Jacoby Brissett went in the 19th round. So that's I suggested I might take Jacoby Brissett, and then all of a sudden Jacoby Brissett's off the board in the 19th round.
Right,
so
we forgot about yeah, that's right. Yeah.
So that pick.
There are a lot of people who are taking Brissett before the 20th, though. Just because they feel like they're going to get 6 games out of him. A lot of times, like, I don't know if it fit as well with what he was doing with Josh Allen, Carson Wentz, and Davis Mills. Jacoby Brissett is a guy that I would be wanting to like pair up with, one of the rookie quarterbacks, Malik Willis or somebody like that. Would be a good way to go. Try to get some earlier production and then late production.
Oh yeah, for sure. I think the team that has Malik Willis, I thought did a little bit of a interesting approach here. They went quarterback right out of the gate with Justin Herbert and Trey Lance, and then they went with Malik Willis, but they didn't add a fourth quarterback. So there's definitely a little bit of a bet there that Malik Willis is actually going to, play his rookie year and play, I guess, significantly enough. Certainly hopefully Herbert and Lance are going to be making your lineup a lot. But there's been a lot of talk that Malik Willis, whatever team he goes to, he may end up sitting for most of the season because he just needs that much, coaching and development to be ready for NFL caliber team. So the bet on Malik Willis to essentially be a starter for more often than not with this kind of build, I thought was interesting. They got Devontae Adams, they got Leonard Fournette, Keenan Allen. I like those picks. I also think just six round Ezekiel Elliott is kind of crazy to talk about now, especially compared to where we were at a year ago. There's no reason to think that Ezekiel Elliott can't sneak into the back of a RB1 finish with a top 10, 11, 12 scoring season. I don't think it's going to be interesting to see what the Cowboys do with Zeke this year, because I think we all know that Tony Pollard should probably be seeing more playing time, but it just doesn't seem to be in the cards for him quite in the way we think that should be. So if that happens again, then Zeke is probably a massive value in the 6th round.
Yeah, he took both running backs that I wanted to take there, Zeke and then Jacobs I wanted to grab on the way back, and he got him, so I took Mitchell. But I just want to go back on what you talked about with the QBs. I do think it's important. My issue is that he took Malik Willis as his QB3 and his last QB, where Trey Lance is his QB2. That's my issue with it. If he had a more solid QB2, I mean, even Derek Carr, Rodgers, or someone where we know for sure he's going to start most of the season, then I don't mind having my third and only quarterback as backup with the upside of a rookie. But my issue is that Trey Lance is his QB2 there.
Yeah, I mean, it's all right too, since it is a tournament. You're looking to kind of find that one right combo, and if Lance does play well all year, then you're sitting pretty good with this, And if Malik Willis is starting by the time bye week starts, maybe Herbert and Lance get a late bye or something like that, and Willis is starting by like week 8 or 9. You could be sitting in a pretty good spot. And then that allowed him to really, kind of in the meat of the draft, he took Devontae Adams, Leonard Fournette, Keenan Allen, Ezekiel Elliott, Josh Jacobs, so it really allowed him to load up at running back and wide receiver. And then he hits Willis, and then he can go right back to pounding, the other positions again. So it works out pretty well.
His roster is nice, though. He's got a nice his receivers are pretty nice. Some good depth there.
He Corey Davis. I was disappointed. I did not see Corey Davis when I took Curtis Samuel, because I would have taken him to stack with Zach Wilson.
The team out of the 105 did literally a 2 quarterback build. I did not expect to see one of those. They went Burrow, Fields, and then paused on quarterback the rest of the way. Which resulted in a pretty solid wide running back trio.
I think I did 1 or 2 of those with just 2 quarterbacks. I don't mind doing that in SuperFlex and being, super slim at the quarterback and then load up at the other position, especially if you get 2 at the top like that.
Yeah, I mean, if I'm going to do that, I would rather have a Carr or a Cousins
more solid,
solid. Yeah, somebody a little bit more solid there. But
I think that's kind of where it's tough. I want to believe in Justin Fields, and I just have the hardest time right now because Chicago has not had a great offseason so far. The wide receivers are truly no one of note. I'm sure that they're going to add somebody at some point in time, but I think he could have a lot of work ahead of him to really get the numbers that we want to see him get for fantasy purposes in general, much less in a super flex league. So that could be kind of tough there.
Yeah, he's gonna have to use his legs a lot too.
Which he didn't use them a lot last season. That was kind of frustrating.
Right. And I think that was a little bit of Nagy, because Nagy did the same thing with Trubisky. He just didn't let him run. And, he kept trying to turn everybody into a pocket passer instead of just looking at, what does this player do best and build an offense around that. So I think it's going to be interesting in Chicago just because I think they're really looking to tank this year. I don't know that means that they're out on Justin Fields. I think if they see reasonable performance for him, then they probably keep him and then try to really build around him next year. But they've been dumping cap and they've been, they don't really have a lot of picks this year. So yeah, it's going to be a tough year in Chicago.
Yeah, and they thought last year was tough. So
right.
Yeah. No,
but
I mean,
really, without they just didn't have the assets available to build around Fields the way they wanted to this year. I think, it was just kind of a tough deal, without much ability to work with the salary cap and without many draft picks. I mean, it's tough to surround him with good receivers.
Yeah.
Narrow target tree guys with Darnell Mooney, right, Dan? Darnell Mooney.
Right. Yes.
It could be.
Exactly
Yeah.
it.
Yeah. It could very much be Mooney and Komet.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mooney, Komet, and, Byron Pringle, your late round hero.
I think he's a nice little sleeper, actually, especially in Bestball.
Yeah.
Anything we didn't talk about that's happened in the last couple of days, guys? I know just the NFL's been bananas, and I was AWOL. I know there's the Saints-Philly trade. You guys have anything to say about that? That was pretty interesting. I like when the GMs get crafty and start moving trades and setting themselves up for something down the road.
Yeah, I think with the Saints trade, I think a lot of people are, they see it as they're kind of trying to position themselves with enough capital in this draft for a quarterback, but I don't see it that way at all. I think, if they were trying to go for a quarterback in this draft, they would have gone about their offseason completely different. So I think they think they're just a couple pieces away, and they're trying to get, because they're hoping that they make their first round pick next year a really late pick by what they've done this year. So I think they're looking to add 2 key players that, can help them out immediately and put them into the playoffs. Because, I mean, when you're looking in the NFC, there's about 4 good teams. And then after that, it's really anybody's game. And the Saints have to be looking at that going, if Jameis hadn't got hurt last year, they very well might have been a playoff team.
Yeah.
Yeah. I was very surprised to see that trade go down. I'm with you, Dan, on the idea that the idea of them moving up to draft a quarterback doesn't I feel like it doesn't make a lot of sense, because I just feel like if you're trading up to get a quarterback, I feel like you want to have a pretty good amount of certainty that you're actually going to get that guy you're trading up for. And that trade that they made doesn't do anything to lock in that kind of certainty. At least in my opinion, it doesn't. Someone can go way earlier than you expected and not fall to you, in that range. Because I believe they've got the 16th and the 19th pick. Is that correct?
I think so. Yeah. 16th and 19th, or 16th and 18th, or something like that.
Right. Like they really only moved up like 2 spots or 3 spots from their original pick. So it's not like they slid up a lot in a range where I think that you can say that they made a legitimate jump for a quarterback. I think more the lines of what you're saying, that they're trying to get more first round picks because they want to put maybe another wide receiver with Jameis. Maybe they want to get maybe they want to get something added to the secondary, like to make a trade now with the idea that it's going to be a quarterback you're taking when you have no idea how it's going to fall. I feel like wanting to get your hands on a quarterback is a draft day trade that you make. And if they're hoping to get a guy that way, then maybe they just want to have the draft capital now. So when they see the guy coming up who they want at quarterback, they say, hey, we got these 2 first rounders we'll give you for this quarterback. That's the only way I could see that happening, is if they look to make more trades later on in the draft to slide up for a quarterback. I don't really see them trading up, essentially 1 or 2 spots to get a quarterback who they have no clue if they're going to be falling to 16 or 19 or whatever it was.
Right.
There's
exactly.
just no way of knowing that.
And if you're really looking for a quarterback, the next draft is probably better. And
giving away your 23 first is like,
yeah. And the better way to do it, if you're really looking at quarterback, is to say, you know what, let's trade away our first in this draft, get a 23 first.
Yes.
And then, we're going to suck this year. So our 23 first is going to be good. And then hopefully whatever one we traded for is also going to be good. And then, if neither one of them is good enough on their own, then they can consolidate them together and move up and get the guy they want.
Yeah.
That would be the way I would go about it if I was looking to get quarterback in the next year or 2. But I think they kind of feel okay with Jameis, and they're just gonna see what happens this year. And if he can take them to the playoffs, great.
I believe they were like 5-2 with Jameis last season or something like that. Like they weren't losing a lot of games with Jameis at quarterback. He wasn't the most impressive thing in the world, but I mean, give him another year. Hopefully he's back healthy. If they put a couple other things around, like, you might have a chance to at least be a wild card team.
Yep, for sure.
Yeah, with the versatility of Hill and Winston coming back with what he's shown, I don't think they're panicking on quarterback there in New Orleans.
Yeah, no, I don't think so either.
All right. Well, I thought that was interesting. Anything else we haven't touched on, Zach? This is always fun having you on, brother. I know it was your first Underdog draft, but still fun. Hopefully we get you your itch going, and now you get to jump in a few more, and maybe we'll get you back on later in the off season and do another one.
Yeah, no, absolutely. It was fun to finally get my feet wet for the 2022 season over here in Underdog and get this draft together. Hopefully get any weird auto picks completely out of the way like I did with Amari Cooper. And I've always enjoyed coming on here with you guys. You're always a blast to talk to and hang out with. So this was fun, as usual.
Yeah, fun for us, too. And a very festive shirt, too, I might add. I like,
yeah. We got a lot of tie-dye going on here.
Yes. That's
Dan,
great.
all the tie-dye.
Oh, heck yeah.
It goes with the lack of a haircut that I have. Yeah, it goes with the lack of a haircut.
I love it.
You should have seen me in college. Long time ago, but, you know.
Post one to Twitter so we can all take a look.
Oh, man. Yeah. I would have to dig through and find actual photographs. None of that stuff's online.
Guys,
right.
That was the beauty of going to college when I went to college. There was no such thing as online. So, it was a lot harder to get embarrassed.
Yeah.
Guys, make sure you follow Zach at ZK_FFB?
Yep.
Go check out Zach, guys. No brainer. Tons of goodness. Dan, we didn't have Theo tonight. Hopefully he's back tomorrow for Jax. We have a big Dynasty show tomorrow. I know you're pumped. Any final words for the Pews before we close it down?
Yeah, just get out there and start doing some drafting right now, because this is a great time to be drafting before the NFL draft. If you feel like you've got a good idea of how things might go, if you've been, if you're a dynasty player and you've been studying up on the rookies, this is your time. Getting these best ball drafts, you can probably do a lot better than some of the best ball drafters who are a little bit less caught up on the rookies right now. So great time to be drafting.
Guys, listen to Wheeler. Smash the likes, smash the subscribe. Go check out last show, like we said, with Dwayne McFarland from PFF. Guys, just tons of goodness from the FF Hustle co-host himself. And join us tomorrow for Jax Falcone with the Dynasty show. Smash the subscribe, guys. We're here all off season to help you guys win. Hope you enjoyed it. Let us know in the comments which teams you liked, didn't like, any picks you liked or didn't like. We appreciate you guys tuning in, and we'll check you all later.
Go District. Bleed, I ball. Bleed, I ball. Bleed, I ball. Bleed, ball. And I bleed, I ball. Bleed, I ball. Bleed, I ball. Cause I bleed. Hey, bleeding, I ball. Defeated the odds and see him at all. JD in the pods, I needed it all. I bleeded a lie. You bleeded a lie, not bleeded a lie. And that's what I go do. Facts, let me show you. Happen to know dudes. Drafting, they don't do bad and they don't lose. Make you wanna bleed. It's the Go District boys giving you the business and no gimmicks. The best ball drafts got me feeling like it's Christmas. Then it's Christmas all of a sudden, and these riches came from nothing. And I got this all from loving the district. See, I just drafted, forget it. I laugh at the critics, they mad at the digits. I clap back by listening. See, BALLiN ain't a problem if you kick it with them off. And I refresh the feed till autumn, then I bleed, go.